Okay, so this past week on Thursday, July 21st, we saw the 8th January 6th committee hearing, the 8th January 6th committee hearing. And this committee hearing focused on the 187 minutes that Donald Trump did nothing to stop the January 6th insurrection. Okay. The panel accused at this hearing, the panel accused former President Donald Trump of dereliction of duty for failing to act to stop the assault on the Capitol that was carried out in his name. Now, the committee documented how for over 187 minutes, Benedict Donald Trump remained in a small dining room off the Oval Office, watching the violence on television and rebuffing pleas by aides, congressional Republicans, and family members to call off the mob that he sent there in the first place. Okay, because, you know, I guess they were singing Tony Braxton's song, I Love Me Some Him, because they did it for him. Okay, he's the one that sent them there. And this was, and the mob continued to, you had people who, Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani, continued to call senators in hopes of convincing them to stop the certification of his electoral college defeat. They wanted to slow down the process. Okay. They wanted to slow down the process. Rudy Giuliani called, he was trying to call Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama, but accidentally called Senator Mike Lee of Utah. Senator Mike Lee turned that information over to the authorities. Right. So if we look at this briefly, New York Times has a good piece, 5 takeaways from the 8th hearing of the January 6th committee, 5 takeaways from the 8th hearing of the January 6th committee. And the first one, let me scroll down to this here. The first one, Donald Trump ignored a torrent of pleas to call off his supporters. Members of Congress, aides, and his own daughter, Ivanka, made pleas for Donald Trump to call off the violence as it unfolded in front of him on television. He was enjoying this. That was probably the happiest day of his life. But witnesses told the committee that Donald Trump not only ignored them, but repeatedly signaled that he did not want anything done, to stop what was taking place. I guess for him, that was must-see TV. Text messages and audio obtained by the January 6th committee showed that protesters massing at the Capitol were paying close attention to Donald Trump's words, as they usually do. Okay, he's their savior. And the difference between a religion and a cult is that in a religion, your savior dies for you, but in a cult, you're asked to die for your savior. Notice Donald Trump didn't give one of these insurrectionists a presidential pardon. He knew they were going to be prosecuted. He could have given them a pardon before he left office. He chose not to give them a pardon, and they're being convicted, going to prison for him. Guilty pleas has been over 305 guilty pleas. There have been close to 900 people who've been arrested and charged, and more prosecutions, more people are being convicted. Now, Representative Adam Kinzinger, who's a Republican from Illinois, he's the only male Republican. There's only 2 Republicans on the committee, Liz Cheney of Wyoming and Adam Kinzinger of Illinois. Kissinger helped lead the hearing this past Thursday. He said that former President Donald Trump, after learning of the Capitol breach, resisted putting out a tweet saying, stay peaceful. He resisted putting out a tweet saying, stay peaceful. Quote, he told Mark Meadows, former chief of staff, then chief of staff, Mark Meadows, that the rioters were doing what they should be doing and the rioters understood they were doing what President Trump wanted them to do, end quote, Representative Adam Kinzinger said, referring to what Donald Trump told his chief of staff, Mark Meadows. All right, now I want to go to this clip here. Let's go to clip, let's see, this is clip number 2, Jalen. This is from Roland Martin Unfiltered. So we spoke with, when I was on Friday, we spoke with Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn. Now, Harry Dunn, you've probably seen him in numerous interviews. He's an African-American police officer. Harry Dunn also testified at a congressional hearing as well about what happened that day. So let's go to this clip, Jalen.
Polarizing society that we live in, we can't continue this way. Where does it end? Look at like January 6th. Like, look how close we were. Like, what if we're not so lucky next time?
Yep. Questions from my panel. I'll start with you, Kelly.
Hi, friend. Good to see you. And we've talked about this several times, specifically when it comes to how you have to conduct yourself within your own ranks, right? Because it's not just outside people who are biased against what you're doing. My understanding is that you still have people within law enforcement, both in your division and others nationwide, who do not agree with what you're doing. So my question to you is, how do you reconcile the need and the duty to tell the truth versus the perceived duty, rather, as a cop to be objective or apolitical, which effectively is to be silent?
It's a simple answer for that. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. What's right should be spoken on and what's wrong should be spoken against. It's just as simple as that. Everybody has a moral compass and they know what's right and they know what's wrong. I try my best to be very matter of fact when it comes to these interviews, to speaking out, to doing my job. I'm just very matter of fact. I try to keep opinions out of it. So, if I'm wrong or disagree with something, that's all that is. But when it comes to actual matter of fact, did this happen? Yes or no? Why did it happen? This is why it happened. And that's it. But it's very important to continue to keep speaking out on the truth. Like, I won't be silent about that because I believe in doing what's right.
Michael.
Hello, Officer Harry Dunn. Hey, it's a pleasure to talk to you, brother. You are a real American hero, and I appreciate everything that you do. My question is, do you encourage African Americans to become Capitol Hill police officers? I know the January 6th insurrection, and hearing from some African American Capitol Hill police officers and previous ones, they talk about the racism that they have experienced as Capitol Hill police officers. So do you encourage more African Americans to become Capitol Hill police officers? And maybe if you can share with us 1 or 2 reasons why you became a Capitol Hill police officer as well. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for your kind words. No, so I absolutely believe, not necessarily just Capitol Police, I encourage members of any community to be involved in their communities. One of the reasons I believe that policing comes under such scrutiny, and a lot of times there are officers in communities that don't understand how communities work, is because police communities, the police don't look like the communities that they police.
Right.
Their representation. I mean, if you have a Asian community, you shouldn't be, 80% Asian community should not be 90% Black police officers there. And, in any demographic that you want to choose or plug into that communities need to look like and understand. Police communities need to look like the communities that they police. So I think it definitely is important. And I would encourage anybody in any community to join, not just policing. It could be any kind of type of public service, because like I said, this world that we're living in. It's our job to take care of it and to do it. Like, people are going to do stuff for us. So whether that is speaking out, volunteering, helping, like, we're here to give back. And I don't think a lot of people are doing that, and they're depending on one or two people to be a voice, like, for thousands and thousands, and it's taxing. And I've learned that just being one of the officers who's speaking out. Like, people jokingly call me a spokesperson. No, I'm not. I'm just speaking my truth. But
Right.
about what's important to me. And there's so many. That's the thing. Like, there's so many. Everybody's familiar with my story, but there were hundreds of officers on duty that day that has a story to tell. And
Right.
I've been to get them to speak out and tell your story. This is what you coming out and talk. And for whatever reason, it's their choice. But a lot of people are not doing it.
Okay, we're going to pause it right there. We're coming up on the break. You listen to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM, the Superstation. We'll continue this on the other side of the break. That was Capitol Hill police officer Harry Dunn. And we were talking about the 8th January 6th committee hearing. You listen to the African History Network show on Michael Imhotep. 313-778-7600. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number for every question or comment. We'll be back in a few minutes.
910 AM Superstation, a division of Adele Media. We got the topics.
Host Brother Michael Imhotep. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We do current events and history and much, much more. We're going to give you an update on what's going on. This is about self-preservation. We have to extinguish the fire of white supremacy. See, that's without consequence.
Catch it right here on 910 AM Superstation. The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 910 AM Superstation or Adele Media.
Welcome back to the African History Network show. All right. We're going to go back to that clip here in just a second. And then also check out this article that April Ryan wrote for thegrio.com. Capitol officer Harry Dunn says January 6 hearings bombshell findings trigger feelings of betrayal. Capitol Hill officer Harry Dunn says January 6 hearings bombshell findings trigger feelings of betrayal. This is from this article here is from July 13th, 2022. The Griot caught up with Officer Harry Dunn, who's African American, and members of the January 6th House Select Committee as the panel continues laying out evidence against former President Donald Trump. Moments after Tuesday's shocking January 6th House Select Committee hearing, U.S. Capitol Police Officer Harry Dunn told thegrio.com that he felt a sense of betrayal by former President Donald Trump, who did not initially lift a finger to stop the traumatic event that occurred on January 6, 2021. Harry Dunn, who courageously defended the Capitol against a violent mob of Trump supporters, said prior to the hearings there was an assumption of about what Trump did or did not do to incite the attack or stop them. He said, quote, "But now that the committee has confirmed it, it's no longer a thought or suspicion, given the breadth of evidence and testimony from the committee, It's confirmed, and that's just betrayal," Harry Dunn said. It's confirmed, and that's just betrayal. That's one of the toughest feelings I've ever had to deal with in my life. Now, Republican U.S. Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming on Tuesday. So this was the seventh hearing. That this article is about the seventh hearing. Okay, the eighth hearing took place on Thursday, July 21st. This is about the seventh hearing that took place on Tuesday, right around Tuesday, July 12th. Republican U.S. Representative Liz Cheney of Wyoming on Tuesday, July 12th, dropped a bombshell at the 7th and most recent 7th January 6th Select Committee. Cheney is the committee's vice chair. She revealed that Donald Trump placed a phone call to one of the panel's witnesses. The lawyer for the unidentified witness informed the Select Committee, and in turn, committee officials made the Department of Justice aware of the possible witness tampering. Okay, so read this article here written by April Ryan, brilliant journalist, African-American female journalist April Ryan, and the White House correspondent for thegrio.com. Okay, so on Friday, July 22nd, when I was on Roland Martin Unfiltered, we spoke with Harry Dunn, who April Ryan interviewed for the Griot. And let's go back to that clip.
I became a police officer. Like I use this, I kind of like have a type A personality with a type B heart. Like I'm very passionate, I'm caring, but I also believe I have this, I'm 6'7", I have a stature, I command, like to think I command a little bit of at least attention when I come around, and I know how to talk to people, and I want to see people succeed. I truly believe in service and public service and helping people. And I think that's what policing is about.
Thank you.
Matt?
Officer Dunn, I want to echo Michael's sentiments. I appreciate your service and your forthrightness in talking about not only what you experienced, but making sure the truth comes to light. And I have kind of a difficult question for you, but I'm interested nonetheless. How do you go to work every day and continue to protect people that not only disagree with you, as you alluded to earlier, but who have made political theater out of trying to deny what we saw happen in real time? I mean, how have you grappled with the fact that there are people you're continuing to protect who are not being honest about the fact that you had to protect them on January 6th from a riotous mob? How have you dealt with that? Like I said, I realized that sometimes that things are bigger than you. It's not just about me. I also realized that, people use this term a lot, and I think it's interpreted wrong a lot. People need a seat at the table. Like, so what's the alternative to me not being there, to me leaving? I'm not going to let anybody's opinion or their behavior force me out of doing something that I'm good at, something that I like doing. I'm not going to allow anybody to do that. I'm going to continue to do my job the way I believe that is the right way to do, because that's what's important. I'm going to continue speaking out against my truth. What if, just counter your point, what if somebody says, how can I keep working around an individual like him who keeps speaking out against what I'm speaking out against? I mean, why not look at it that way? I'm going to continue speaking my truth, what I believe is right. And I think it's easy. To, it was difficult to interpret, to find another narrative, frame it how I could continue to do it. That was difficult to find out how to frame. But once I did, I'm like, this isn't hard, because doing the right thing shouldn't be difficult, and it is for a lot of people, and I can't live like that. So.
Well, Harry Dunn, we appreciate your service. We appreciate you being forthright, not backing down, not running away. And also, last week when they had the hearing, one of those former Oath Keepers, I believe, the folks reported that he came up to you and apologized, and that you accepted it, and you tweeted, no, he apologized. He said it was not accepted.
That's correct. Like I said, it was acknowledged. I'm not against forgiveness at all. And maybe the gentleman, he was truly remorseful. That's fine. But right now, I'm not focused on forgiveness. One thing I continue to say is I can't be focused on forgiveness when I'm still seeking justice. There's so many people out there that still need to be brought to justice. And then we can start to heal once justice has been served. So
I agree with that 100%. Officer Dunn, we appreciate you joining us on Roland Martin Unfiltered.
Thanks, man. Glad we got to catch up.
Indeed. Thanks a bunch.
Pause right there, Jay. Okay. All right. And then we're going to go to clip 3 here in just a second. Now, also, one of the things that came out at the January 6th hearing is Senator Josh Hawley, little punk, Josh Hawley of Missouri. NBC News has this article and others, and memes have been made, and they're showing Josh Hawley running out of the Capitol Hill, out of the Capitol Hill building. After hours before, when he was outside, he raised his fist in the air in solidarity with the insurrectionists that he incited, because he was one of the early ones inciting the insurrectionists even before they got there. Okay, there was a good article from, I think it may have been Politico. I'll try to pull up this article, but this piece right here from NBC News, Josh Hawley, Hawley, seen fleeing from pro-Trump mob he riled up with fist salute in newly released January 6th footage. So we got to see this at the January 6th hearing, and we got to see this little punk running. He was running for his life. He was scared of these people. Most of these guys, you know, when you watch the movie American Gangster with Denzel Washington portraying Frank Lucas, you remember Denzel Washington telling Chiwetel Ejiofor, who played his brother Huey, I think it was Huey, was his name. He told him the loudest person in the room is the weakest person in the room, because Huey wanted to be like Nicky Barnes, so he wanted to dress flashy like him, things like that. And Denzel was telling him, you need to tone down your appearance, get a business suit, etc. He said the loudest person in the room is the weakest person in the room. That's Josh Hawley. Video of Missouri Republican senator running away from the rioters elicited a burst of laughter in the congressional hearing room. And there've been memes made of him, and memes, you know, they're playing the theme song from the Benny Hill show and showing him running like, you know, they would speed up the footage on the Benny Hill show. Senator Josh Hawley, the Missouri Republican who raised his fist in solidarity with the crowd of Trump supporters outside the Capitol on January 6th, was forced to flee rioters in new footage presented Thursday night by the January 6th committee. Hawley can be seen running through a hallway in the Capitol and then quickly making his way down a staircase with colleagues. The video, which lit up social media shortly after it was aired, was taken just hours after the senator was photographed saluting protesters massing at security gates near the building. Now, here's a picture of this little punk running. He's running for his life because these guys can't fight. Stephen K. Bannon, Donald Trump, these are punks. The loudest person is the weakest person. They talk all that stuff. If Stephen Bannon goes to jail, I don't think he's going to last too long in jail because these guys can't fight. They have security around them. You're not going to have security in jail. You're going to be in trouble. Okay, so check out this article here from ABC News. Now, I want to go to this second clip here. And actually, because it's, we'll say that to after the, we'll go to clip 3 after the break, Jalen, because Roland comes to me and I'm not going to interrupt myself for the commercial break. So we'll come back. We'll go to that when we come back for the break. I want to go back to this article here from, and then we have, let me see, do we have a picture of, okay. Oh, they showed it. Okay. We don't have a picture of him raising his fist, but we have a picture of him running. That's good enough. Okay. This piece here from New York Times, I'm going to go back to this. And actually here you see Josh Hawley raising his fist. Okay. They have the video in the article from NBC News. And what happened was, they read testimony at the White House at the hearing, and a female Capitol Hill police person who was interviewed said that it really infuriated her that Josh Hawley would show solidarity with the crowd, and he was doing that from a safe space. And this, when he did this really riled up the crowd, and it really endangered the Capitol Hill police also to deal with this crowd that he incited even more. And that was, let me see, where are my notes on that here? I have some notes on that, but I'll try to find them here on the break. All right. But anyway, let's continue. Okay, so I want to go back to this piece here from New York Times. 5 takeaways from the January 6th hearing, from the 8th January 6th hearing. This is from New York Times, July 21st, 2022. So the second one was Trump never made a single call to law enforcement or the Pentagon. So police are being beat up. I thought Republicans loved the police. Police are being beat up, and Trump doesn't do anything to protect them for 187 minutes. He then puts out a tweet, and he says the Capitol Hill police are on our side, something to that effect. And but he didn't say he didn't say don't beat up, don't attack the members of Congress. Okay, he didn't say that in his tweet. And the people like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, they picked up on that also, because they were able to play some of the communication between them, and they commented that he didn't say don't do anything to the people in Congress. Just don't hurt, just don't harm the Capitol Hill police officers. Okay, so Trump ignored a torrent of pleas to call off his supporters. Trump ignored a torrent of pleas to call off his supporters. Members of Congress, aides, and his own daughter, Ivanka, made pleas to Donald Trump to call off the violence as it unfolded in front of him on television. But witnesses told the committee that Trump not only ignored them, repeatedly, he signaled that he did not want anything done. Okay, he signaled he did not want anything done. Now, let's see here. I want to scroll down. Number 3, members of Pence's Secret Service detailed fear for their lives. Okay, I'm sorry, that was number 1. I just looked at. This is number 2. Trump never made a single call to law enforcement or the Pentagon. Through a range of witness testimonies, the committee demonstrated that Donald Trump never reached out to the heads of any law enforcement or national security department or national security department or agency in the government to seek help in responding to the quell of violence. Fox News footage, which Donald Trump was watching from his dining room, showed how the Capitol Police were under siege, massively outmanned, and struggling to repel the crowd. But Donald Trump remained unmoved. He's sitting up watching Fox News while the police that Republicans say they love are being attacked and assaulted by domestic terrorists. We'll continue this on the other side of the break. Listen to the African History Network show. I'm Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes. iRedify is a Black-owned digital platform that showcases Black and Brown cultures and people. The books on the platform are written by African-American authors, Afro-Caribbean authors, African authors, and so much more. Kids 14 and under can read ebooks, listen to audiobooks, and complete learning activities. Kids can even write in the books digitally. Get unlimited access to everything on the platform for only $8.99 a month at iRedify.com. Sign up for your membership today.
What does self-care mean to you? To us, it's an opportunity to reconnect with nature. A chance to create something remarkable. At Sage and Elm Apothecary, our handcrafted skincare and household products immerse you in Earth's sweetest nectar, connecting you to nature in a way you never imagined. See for yourself and visit us at sageandelmapothecary.com.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation Future Radio. All right. We're going to go to this next clip here in just a second. Right before the break, we were going through this piece from the New York Times, and this deals with 5 takeaways from the 8th January 6th hearing. And the second takeaway was Trump never made a single call to law enforcement or the Pentagon. Trump never made a single call to law enforcement or the Pentagon. He sat up and watched Fox News. Now, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, expressed dismay with Donald Trump's response in his interview with the January 6th committee. He said, you're the commander in chief. You've got an assault going on the Capitol of the United States, and there's nothing, no call, nothing, zero. General Milley said in audio of his deposition. Now, number 3, members of Mike Pence's, Vice President Mike Pence's Secret Service detail feared for their lives. Testimony from a White House security official who had access to what Secret Service agents in the Capitol protecting President Mike Pence were saying to each other over their radios showed how agents feared for their lives as protesters drew near. The committee declined to identify the official and masked the official's voice. Quote, there was a lot of yelling. The official told the committee a lot of very personal calls over the radio, so it was disturbing. I don't like talking about it, but there were calls to say goodbye to family members, so on and so forth. It was getting, for whatever the reason was on the ground, the VP detail thought that this was about to get very ugly. Okay, and then number 4, new testimony bolstered Cassidy Hutchinson's credibility. We know they showed some testimony from Cipollone, the former White House counsel also. The committee helped bolster the credibility of Cassidy Hutchinson, the West Wing aide who provided dramatic and damning testimony to the committee last month and quickly was attacked by Donald Trump and his allies. One of the most significant disclosures from Cassidy Hutchinson was that there was an angry dispute between Donald Trump and his security detail in his car when the detail refused to drive him to the U.S. Capitol to join his supporters. Testimony played on Thursday from an anonymous White House security official and a sergeant in the Metropolitan Police Department who was driving in Donald Trump's motorcade corroborated that claim. All right. And then you have number 5, even the next day, January 7th, Donald Trump would not say the election was over. Okay. And he put out a recording that day. He did not want to say the election was over in that recording. And the reason why he didn't want to say it's over is because they raised $250 million on the big lie within 2 months of the November election. So you can't keep raising that money. And they've raised more than $250 million because they kept raising money afterwards. You can't keep raising money and then come out and say, oh, the election's over. No, he said they were using that money to file lawsuits and fight to overturn the election. So you can't then say the election's over. You have to keep going with the bit. This is what he was doing. All right. I want to go to this third clip here. So we talked about this on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday, and Roland played some of the footage from the January 6th Select Committee hearing. And he played some of the footage of Donald Trump recording his responses and things like this. So in this segment here, we talk about Trump. Roland asked a question. We're dealing with Trump could not admit that the election was over. Trump could not admit that the election was over. And Roland asked the question, why would anybody want Trump back in the White House? Let's go to this clip, please, Jalen.
Yeah, take care.
Folks, if you wanted to see how sick and demented Donald Trump is, they released these outtakes where he went to the Rose Garden, and he was supposed to, of course, accept what took place, but just could not bring himself to say certain words because he's pretty illiterate. Roll it.
His staff had prepared a script for him to read, but he refused to use it. As you can see on the screen, you can see the script is stamped "President has seen." The script said, quote, "I'm asking you to leave the capital region now and go home in a peaceful way." The president was urged to stick to this script, but he spoke off the cuff. Eric Hirschman and Nick Luna went with the president to film the message in the Rose Garden. Let's hear what they had to say and see the never-before-seen raw footage of the president recording this video message.
Ultimately, these remarks that we're looking at here in Exhibit 25 were not the remarks that the president delivered in the Rose Garden. Do you know why the president decided not to use these?
I don't know, sir. No, I do not know why.
Did the president use any written remarks to your knowledge, or did he just go off the cuff?
To my knowledge, it was off the cuff, sir.
Good, Chase?
Yep.
When you're ready, sir. Yep, I'll be right behind you.
You tell me when?
When you're ready, sir.
Who's behind me?
Okay. He's gone around. Clear. We're all clear now.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had a election. Let me see. I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
When I got there, basically the president just had finished filming the video, and I think he was basically retiring for the day.
Was there any discussion about the president releasing a second video that day?
Not that I recall. When he finished his video, I think everyone was like, day's over. People were pretty drained.
Were pretty what?
Drained.
When we say day over, there were still people in the Capitol at that point, weren't there?
There were people in the Capitol, but I believe by this stage, law enforcement, and I'd have to go back and look, but I believe law enforcement was either there or moving in or going to take charge. I just say people were emotionally drained by the time that videotape was done.
Then, of course, that was the speech Trump gave on the day after, January 7th, where his sorry ass just cannot accept the fact that he got his ass whooped.
Whenever you're ready, sir.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday, and to those who broke the law, you will pay. You do not represent our movement, you do not represent our country, and if you broke the law, you can't say that. I already said you will pay. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defied the seat of justice. It's defiled, right? See, I can't see it very well. Okay, I'll do this. I'm going to do this. Let's go. But this election is now over. Congress has certified the results. I don't want to say the election's over. I just want to say Congress has certified the results without saying the election's over, okay?
But Congress is certified. Now Congress is
Yeah,
certified.
right.
Now Congress
I didn't say over, so let me see. Go to the paragraph before. Okay? I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack yesterday. Yesterday is a hard word for me.
Just take it out. The heinous attack.
Ah, good. Take the word yesterday, because it doesn't work with the heinous attack on our country. Say on our country. Want to say that?
No, keep it.
My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote. My only goal was to ensure the integrity of the vote.
You know, if you supported that idiot for 2020, you have truly got to feel like one of the dumbest people ever for actually wanting that idiot back in the White House, Matt.
I don't know if there's anything for me to add. I think you're right.
I can add a lot.
Go ahead. Michael, go ahead.
See, we don't understand white supremacy. This is what this is. Go look at Rusty Bowers. Russell Rusty Bowers, House Speaker, Arizona, testified in the January 6th committee. He refused to go along with overturning the election results in Arizona. The day before he testified, he was interviewed, I think it was Associated Press, and he said, and they asked him, hey, would you vote for Trump again? He said, all things considered, he would vote for Trump again. He said Trump would be better, something to the effect that Trump would be better than a radical Democrat, things like this. And he talked about how Trump did good things before the coup. So basically what they're talking about, I know what they're talking about when they say good things before the coup. They're talking about tax cuts for the wealthy. They're talking about 226 federal judges, ultra-conservative judges, lifetime appointments, so they can maintain control of the legislative branch, of the judicial branch of the federal government. And they're talking about 3 Supreme Court justices to overturn Roe versus Wade and possibly other long-standing constitutional rights as well. So this is why these people voted for him. Now, Rusty Bowers, he just wasn't willing to go to prison for Trump, but he's willing to vote for this domestic terrorist again. This is why the 2020.
Well, the next day he backtracked from that somewhat.
They always backtrack when their ass gets caught. They always backtrack when they get caught. Just like Senator Mike Braun, he backtracked when it exploded, when he talked about states' rights when it came to, I think it was interracial marriage.
I think that was what it was, the Republican. They always backtrack when the spotlight is on them. And then when it's safe to go back to their original position, which is how they feel, this is what they revert back to. Kevin McCarthy, when the spotlight was on him, he denounced Trump. 2 weeks later, his ass is down kissing Trump's ring. No telling what else he kissed down in Mar-a-Lago. Okay, and then he's supporting Trump and defending him. They always backtrack when their ass gets busted. So what we have to make sure that we do is vote them out of power and make sure they never get back in power again. This is about self-preservation. This 2022 midterm election, this is the first midterm election since an insurrection, since the 1866 midterm election after the Civil War. This is the most crucial. I turn 51 in June. This is the most crucial midterm election I've ever seen or read about in modern history. So this is about self-preservation.
Hotep, everybody. Hey, this is Michael Imhotep, founder of the African History Network, host of the African History Network show. I'm a talk show host, researcher, lecturer, writer, and historian. And I want to give a special shout out to everybody who has attended the 11th annual Liberated Minds Black Homeschool and Education Expo. I just want to take a few minutes, and we had a great presentation that I did on Saturday. So I teach 2 online history classes. One on Saturday and one on Sunday. On Saturday, the class that I teach, normally 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is called Ancient Kemet, the Moors, and the Ma'afa, Understanding the Transatlantic Slave Trade, what they didn't teach you in school. And this is normally a 10-week online class. We deal with thousands of years of history and what leads up to the transatlantic slave trade taking place. We can't start studying our history in slavery. Even when we study the transatlantic slave trade, which is important to study, we can't start in 1619 or in the 1440s with the Portuguese, when the Portuguese get involved in the transatlantic slave trade. We have to understand the history chronologically and deal with the 800-year occupation of Europe by the Africans known as the Moors, who entered into the Iberian Peninsula, today known as Spain and Portugal, from North Africa in 711 AD. When we discuss the transatlantic slave trade, we have to first understand that African people are the original people of North, Central, and South America and have been in the land we call the United States at least 51,700 years. Now, the second class I teach is on Sundays, normally 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's called From the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. Now, these classes are normally $130. They're on sale right now, $60. We do the sessions live. All the sessions are archived and recorded, so you can go back and watch it anytime. So a year from now, 2 years from now, you can go back and watch the entire class. With both of these classes, I would say the content is PG-13, so you can use this with your children as well if you want to. Also, you can advertise with the African History Network. We have 3 new advertising packages. Our current promotion is buy 1 month to get 1 month free. We have 1 million followers at our Facebook fan page, the African History Network. And with our platinum package, we'll take out ads on our Facebook fan page for you as well to help maximize your advertising campaign. And we take your 30-second to 60-second commercial, we put into the rebroadcast of our shows, and also into the audio podcast of our shows as well. We only have 20 advertising slots because we have a finite amount of advertising space. Email us at TheAHNShow@TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, TheAHNShow@TheAfricanHistoryNetwork.com, or call us 313-462-0003. All right, right now it's corrects wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever, and we'll talk to you soon. Peace. iRedify is a Black-owned digital platform that showcases Black and Brown cultures and people. The books on the platform are written by African-American authors, Afro-Caribbean authors, African authors, and so much more. Kids 14 and under can read ebooks, listen to audiobooks, and complete learning activities. Kids can even write in the books digitally. Get unlimited access to everything on the platform for only $8.99 a month at iRedify.com. Sign up for your membership today.
STEM Forward, helping our community find their place in the emerging fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Join us for our monthly live stream on our website, stemforwardedu.org. Watch, subscribe, share. Also join our mailing list to stay up to date with STEM resources and opportunities. STEM Forward, the future is now. Watch, subscribe, share.
The work that I do is larger than the fashion industry. It's larger than the art world. And I believe that I was born to bring newness into this world. I'm Kaima McIntyre. I'm 24 years old and I'm an artist. I create everything from paintings to jewelry design, metaphysical jewelry to be specific, and fashion design. The only reason why my prom dress went viral is because people needed it. Within a few days of going viral, Notori Naughton reached out to me and she's like, I saw your dress, can you make me a dress? I was equally as shocked to be asked by a celebrity to design their dress at the age of 17. That's just one person, and the list just continues to go on to Janet Jackson, to Tyra Banks. It really hits home. That means that the discussion is happening on the grounds in real time.